Hello, gentle Patreon supporters. Up from the depths, 30 stories high. It's this month's Patreon special for June.
Yay! Good old formerly lost media, my favorite thing in the whole world.
Well, it's semi-lost, it just wasn't put out on DVD.
Right, and people had, like, reruns taped off Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Yeah, because it aired on Cartoon Network in 2000,
Not that.
around there.
I don't think it was that recently. It was definitely when I was in high school.
It would make sense if they put it out when the Matthew Broderick movie came out.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Is this a better Godzilla than the Matthew Broderick Godzilla? I think it might be.
Yeah, the movie, yes.
I should rewatch that movie since I was forced to buy it in a 2-pack with 2012 if I wanted to get 2012 on Blu-ray, because that was the only version that Walmart had readily available when I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy a copy of 2012.
The question is it better than the other Godzilla cartoon?
Ooh, I kind of...
Also...
I thought that Godzilla cartoon that we watched earlier, I thought that was actually pretty good.
I had this whole discussion...
Way better than the movie.
When did we watch that? That was like late last year, right?
I think around the same time that Godzilla vs. Kong came out.
Okay,
yes.
because over Christmas I ended up having this discussion with my sister about Godzilla stuff because her sons are getting into it, and she's fairly pop culture savvy. But she had apparently, like, completely forgotten that the Matthew Broderick Godzilla was a thing that happened, even though she was, like, 15 at the time.
Did she not even remember the Taco Bell commercials? I mean, I can see forgetting the movie, but those Taco Bell commercials were everywhere.
I should have brought up the Taco Bell commercials. Because, we were just talking about, like, you know, different iterations of Godzilla, and I was like, you know, the 90s US, the American movie, and she was like, what? And I was like, the American movie that there was all that merchandise for.
It had Matthew Broderick, Jean Reno, and the lady from News Radio on it. No, not that lady from News Radio, the other one.
I would say that probably that Godzilla cartoon is better than this Godzilla cartoon, just because this Godzilla cartoon is definitely like as the Hanna-Barbera empire began to crumble. Yeah,
so this is from 1978. It is Hanna-Barbera. It was apparently produced by Doug Wildey, who was the driving force behind Johnny Quest, and it really shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good as Johnny Quest, I would say, from what I've seen of 60s Johnny Quest.
I'm actually surprised how well animated this was going back. I was afraid this would look like shit.
This is not terribly animated.
No,
this is a step above, like, your Scooby-Doo ripoffs.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was going to be a step below. I was like, pretty good.
The Wikipedia page has an interesting it has some bits of an interview with Joseph Barbera. So it was his idea to license Godzilla.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just Toho coming over and shopping it around?
No, he said, you know, my job back then was to dig up new characters, new ideas, new shows, and I wanted to do Godzilla for a while, because this is the late 70s, I would say Godzilla, you know, I don't know about Godzilla Mania, but Godzilla was big in the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is right around the time of the 70s Marvel Godzilla comic.
Yes, but this was also a dead time for Godzilla movies.
Right, they were not making new Godzilla movies, but I imagine they were also, like, the old ones were running heavily on American syndicated TV.
Yes, a lot.
Yes.
And that is where America's kids were seeing Godzilla, even though at this point they hadn't made a Godzilla movie for, I think, 4 years?
David,
4 or 5,
do you know when the, I don't know if I've mentioned on here before, but do you know if this would be about when the Omni dubs of some of those older movies were produced?
Some of the movies did come later, but I think they'd all happened by, like, probably 75 or 76. I would imagine.
Not when the movies were made, but when those dubs would have been, when it would have been dubbed.
Possibly. They might have dragged out until 80, but I don't think so.
Okay.
For the late 70s, anyway.
Yeah,
And they actually, to this day, like last week, on Comet TV, which is one of those, secondary digital broadcast channels that shows lots of the X-Files, and it's where I came to learn that Sliders was actually terrible, and I had forgotten how terrible it was. But they like to pull out those on occasion, so I get to sit here listening to Galvatron from the Headmaster's dub talk about Mecha Godzilla. Jet Jaguar, which is really like those voices being very recognizable, and also the pronunciation being very recognizable. So I'm wondering if those might have been being broadcast at the time on U.S. television, around the same time.
Oh yeah, they were just in syndication every Saturday, all in the 80s and late 70s.
Actually,
and
I guess
that's connected with this because,
Toho did produce, I believe, according to Wikipedia, that Omni dub of Macross Do You Remember Love that was released as Clash of the Bionoids. So I guess Toho was working with Omni at the time for some reason, because they were cheap, I assume.
Probably.
Alright, so anyway, Joe Barbera, he was friends with Henry Saperstein, and Henry Saperstein was Toho's Man in America.
Basically, he handled like half of the Godzilla movies at least.
Right, and he also was the guy who arranged for American actors to appear in Toho movies.
Yes.
Aha.
Which is why Russ Tamblyn is in War of the Gargantuas.
And Nick Adams?
Nick Adams, who is in both Invasion of Astro Monster and Frankenstein Conquers the World.
And he's pretty damn great in both.
And he was also involved with the creation of the gag dub What's Up Tiger Lily.
Oh, neat.
So anyway, he got Henry Saperstein to get talking with Toho about Godzilla, and then there was an executive at the network who wanted to get into the act and urged us to lighten the storyline up. So I came up with the character Godzooky, who was like his son. The show had sort of a father-son relationship, which we had done before on shows like Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy and Johnny Quest. Although, am I correct in saying that Godzooky is not Godzilla's son, but apparently his nephew?
Yeah, well, I don't remember if it's ever specifically stated, but that's basically what it's... Well, look, in the same way that Manila and other Godzilla kids in various movies, they're not direct parentage, they're just, hey, we found an egg.
Going to say,
so it's not like Godzilla
important.
has like a...
Yes, we don't want to imply that Godzilla fucks. Kids are not prepared for that.
I mean, I don't think adults are prepared for that.
Except, there was a Godzilla coloring book that implied some really weird shit.
Oh, the one about like Godzilla at Studio 54 or something?
Yeah, where the one where he has a wife and then he has a girlfriend on the side. Yes, that one.
I mean, the Studio 54 thing, just Godzilla doing like mountainous rails of coke.
I mean,
Look out, Tokyo.
Lizard intercourse is not like super sexy, so come on. They need to just deal with it.
I guess in the Matthew Broderick one, he could have just, pluked out Godzooky himself on his own.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So this, I assume that this does post-date Godzilla Jr., though.
The original one, yes.
Yeah.
And when is that also, is Manila the same thing as Godzilla Jr.?
Okay, Manila or Minia or whatever it was in the old 70s ones. And there is actually a Godzilla Jr. in the 90s movies.
Oh,
okay.
Unrelated. The one in the 90s movies has he's a different suit in each movie, and it goes from it's a cute sort of dinosaur looking thing, it looks normal, to this fat chubby monstrosity that just looks like a little Godzilla. Very weird arc.
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly clear if Godzooky is the same species as Godzilla, because he's got
wings,
right.
How, somehow he flies with little Spider-Man under the armpit flaps.
I mean, that could just be
works.
like a juvenile trait that is shed as they grow older and Like
Yes.
some
Other than
lizards,
wings, they're big.
some
Yeah,
lizards
Godzilla's like
will
a
climb
Hodzin.
trees when they're babies because, like, Komodo dragons, I think, they have a strong climbing instinct when they're very small because their parents will eat them. And then when they're older, of course, they lose that because they're kind of big. So maybe they, like, have wings as juveniles and limited flight abilities so they can better evade predators that they do not need to worry about once they are, 7 stories high? How's the song go?
30 stories high.
30 stories
stories
high.
high.
And,
Which does make this the shortest Godzilla in recorded history. Well, unless you're counting the Godzillasaurus from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah before he got hit with the bomb on an island near Bikini Atoll and became Godzilla. Yes, 30 stories tall is short because in the original Godzilla from 57, he's, I think, 50 meters tall? Oh no, wait a minute. 50 meters tall in the movies after that. He may be like only 40.
Although I think 30 stories is higher than 50 meters. Meters, like a story is what, like 3 meters?
Wait. Oh, no,
This might be an extremely large Godzilla.
Yeah, but he's not actually that big in the show. Like, he's like...
Oh.
In the animation, he varies from like 50 to 100 feet.
Again, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the broadcast history according to Wikipedia. And apparently the series as a whole originally premiered 10 days before I was born.
Oh.
And
it's interesting because this was, for whatever reason, this was mostly in a block with other shows. It started off as the Godzilla Power Hour, which was half an hour of Godzilla and half an hour of Jana of the Jungle.
Oh, I didn't
which was kind of like a distaff Tarzan thing with B.J. Ward, who played Scarlet on G.I. Joe, and Michael Bell.
Yay, Michael
Prowl
Bell.
and Duke.
And everyone.
And then it became the Godzilla Super 90, as they also added a rerun of Johnny Quest.
Yes.
Then it was on its own as the Godzilla Show. Then it was the Godzilla Globetrotters Adventure Hour.
So I assume this was Super Globetrotters, which is something that Cartoon Network was showing in the middle of the night on Saturdays around like 1999, 2000. Where there was one of the characters...
I assume because it's amazing when you're super high.
One of the... Yeah. It was a like 70s block was the theme. But come to think of it, it was kind of like the pre-Adult Swim, and that it was all stuff that was amazing if you're super high, because it also had like Gumby and Banana Splits. And
oh yeah.
I like that one of the Globetrotters' super abilities was that his giant fro, he could just like pull things out of it.
Wait, he was bubble?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Except, actually a black guy. So, I love Super Globetrotters. It's ridiculous.
Alright. So then became the Godzilla Dino Mutt Hour with the Funky Phantom, and then the Godzilla Hong Kong Phooey Hour.
Which maybe is when I started
that
watching.
That feels a little Orientalist.
Yeah.
Well, Hong Kong Phooey was just Scatman Crothers, who was a dog who knew Kung Fu.
Yes.
I can't remember how much Orientalism there was. Apart from him being Hong Kong
got
Phooey.
This cat sidekick who does like a super Chinese laugh, and he's got this car that's like a Chinese. Unsurprisingly, I was super interested in Hong Kong Phooey in the 90s because he was Scatman Crothers, and there was the whole Transformers through line there. Also because they also showed that on Cartoon Network in the early to mid 90s when I was in high school. I actually had a Hong Kong Phooey keychain for a long time that came from the Warner Brothers studio store back when those were a thing. So yeah, that does seem a little Orientalist though.
So there's a little bit more from Barbera. We talked about how they really had to tone everything down because, standard practice says, he can't shoot his flame at anybody, and he can't step on buildings or cars. And then, that's kind of all Godzilla does.
Mm-hmm. So that became the problem
to maintain a feeling of Godzilla and at the same time cut down everything that he did. We managed to get a fair show out of it. It was okay. Godzooky kind of got the kids going. I don't know. I just like this, old Italian guy talking about, Godzooky kind of got the kids going.
Yes.
And yet, all I remember, I saw this as a child of age indeterminate with one of those original airings, and I hated Godzooky.
We can talk, and Godzooky is, he is the tag-along sidekick pet, and also he's Don Messick, and he just sounds exactly like Scooby-Doo. Except he talks less.
He doesn't talk in words, he just, talks in like sounds.
Yeah, but there's definitely Don Messick noises.
He absolutely sounds like Scooby-Doo though, yes. Just not speaking actual words. It's so Don Messick.
And he can kind of fly, he can't breathe fire, he just blows smoke rings.
Yeah, well, much as Minnie did in Japan.
Because he's a baby.
Okay. So you wonder if, I guess they probably would have seen those movies.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, here's probably the sub thing. We had to create a new thing because it would have been a secondary license to get Minilla.
Right. That's always a thing with Toho because, in the Marvel comics, it's just Godzilla. They don't use, Mothra or Rodan. And I guess it was a real coup for Godzilla King of the Monsters to get Rodan and Mothra and King Ghidorah.
The comics that IDW was putting out started to do that, and had done that for a few years before that. It seemed like eventually Toho got the idea. It's maybe we should make it cheaper to license the others instead of making them, I don't know, whatever it was. It seemed like it was an exorbitant amount. It's no, we're not going to bother to do that. We'll just make our own monsters. It's cheaper.
Maybe we should start allowing them to do combo meals instead of everything being a la carte.
I'm sure, they saw those MCU movies and they're all, the team up is very big right now.
Yes. You gotta have the whole cast there. You can't just have the main character. He's gotta have all the buddies he's known for.
I'm sure they've talked with whoever owns the Gamera rights.
Is Daiei still around? I don't know.
Gamera is really neat. He is made of turtle
because that people would go nuts for a Godzilla Gamera movie.
Yes.
It's been a thing that's almost happened, or at least been in idea stage, many times before. It just hasn't happened yet. I think there was some,
they made Godzilla and Kong work.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there was supposed to be either a teaser in Kong or King of the Monsters that didn't happen. And in the 90s, it was supposed to happen once. Didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Although, Gamera the Brave, which was a younger Gamera, did fight something that looks a hell of a lot like a knockoff Godzilla. So that might have been a leftover from one of the ideas.
Maybe.
So I guess we can start off with this theme song that is totally rad.
Yes.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky, Godzilla.
It's very short, thankfully.
It is short.
It alternates between big, ominous Godzilla and Godzooky.
It has been going through my head all day.
And Godzooky. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw this.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high.
If I saw it as a kid, I don't remember it, but I definitely saw it on Cartoon Network in the early to mid 90s.
Yeah, I absolutely had never seen this at all. This is way before my time.
They would have a whole action block of this and actual Space Ghost episodes and Centurions actually.
Ooh.
Which is,
Man
I assume
Machine,
that must have been Hanna-Barbera though. Kind of surprised they didn't get GoBots in there, but maybe that was a whole separate licensing thing. But yeah, they were definitely running this on Cartoon Network in the early days before they stuck all that stuff on Boomerang, and then Boomerang just became Cartoon Network Originals from 2002, and who knows.
Centurions was Ruby Spears, which was a couple of ex-Hanna-Barbera staffers who left.
Okay.
That was like Thundar the Barbarian, Rubik the Amazing Cube, Sectors, that 80s Superman show.
Oh.
Nice.
And all that...
Apparently Daiei isn't around anymore. It was bought out by Kadokawa at some point, who originally started as a publishing company, and they were like joint film company, but then they just stopped Daiei. And apparently Daiei put out some anime, but all the ones I recognize are hentai.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Like La Blue Girl.
Oh no.
Venus 5.
Oh my.
Yes.
Like...
Well, I think maybe we're about to find out who else is full of turtle meat. Anyway, Godzilla.
Oh my.
Yes.
So the premise of this show, and it's extremely episodic, as with all Hanna-Barbera shows at the time, is that there's a team of scientists. They're on the Calico, which is a hydrofoil. There's Captain Carl Majors, who really looks like Johnny Quest's dad, Dr. Benton Quest. Again, because Doug Wildey.
He also looks like, if you were drawing Jonathan Frakes in the 70s.
You've got Dr. Quinn Darien, who is a pretty lady.
Yes. Also, I guess the aunt of the child.
Yes, Pete Darien. Of course, it can't be her daughter, because you cannot imply that anybody on the show has had sex. She has a sibling who has had sex. And unfortunately,
this is very
produced
much
Pete.
like Donald Duck and like how all of those characters end up with these nephews. And
Yes.
yeah, no one can have children of their own. You can't imply that Godzilla has fucked.
You can't put your own child in danger. You can put your nephew in danger easily.
I will tell that to my sister the next time we're hanging out.
And you've also got Dr. Darien's research assistant, Brock Borden, who is a black scientist, which, pretty good for the 70s.
Yeah.
It's something. We're getting there. I don't know.
He's got glasses. He's got the whole, like...
They probably didn't have guys yelling at them on the internet about it at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know, some guys booting up, Univac or whatever to yell about black people on the cartoons. Putting a bunch of racial slurs on the punch cards.
Oh no. Oh no.
Anyway, so somehow these guys are pals of Godzilla, and they have a little remote that can, like, in case of emergency, summon Godzilla.
Yes, which they refer to as the Godzilla Signaler, which I feel like they could have tried a little harder on.
I mean, initially, I knew that they could somehow summon Godzilla. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, so I thought, okay, she's either gonna... I think she's gonna put, like, a magic flute or something.
I think, my memories, I remember watching all of this show as a kid, but I don't remember any specific episodes in any way at all. But I get a feel like one of the episodes it must have mentioned, the signal is the same noise that Godzooky makes.
Oh, right, because Godzooky can also summon Godzilla.
Yes.
And also here, of course, Godzilla not depicted with the Godzilla roar that he has in, I'm assuming, every other Godzilla thing.
Correct. Because maybe that was an extra license.
Oh my god, Toho, calm down. That sounds like a very Toho thing from what I've heard.
Oh no, I think at one point they lost the tapes of the original sound.
Oh.
Ooh.
But then they did eventually find it again. But also, major part of the sound is rubbing a leather glove against a bass cello.
Ooh.
It's against the wires and it makes a horrible noise. It's great. But yeah, it's one of the few times why don't you use it? Although I guess they wanted him to emote more than just a basic roar.
Well,
so they hired Lurch.
Yes, this is Ted Cassidy, noted enormous American actor. This guy was 6'9". He was Lurch on the original Addams Family show. He's in a couple episodes of Star Trek. He was the narrator on the 70s Bill Bixby Hulk show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
kind of surprised that he wasn't Frank Welker, but
I think
maybe Frank Welker hadn't. They hadn't discovered that Frank Welker could make all the animal noises yet because he was still just busy being Freddy.
Yeah, I think at this point Welker was kind of just doing like his Fred voice and a bunch of stuff. I don't know that he had become the animal guy yet.
Yeah, they hadn't figured that out about him. That skill set.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he did a bunch of like, they're pretty credible monster growls on this.
Yeah.
But it is
Not
weird
bad.
that he's also kind of a weird looking Godzilla. His, probably because it would be harder to animate, his plates are not quite as leaf shaped.
Yeah, they're not maple leafy shaped. They're more rounded and small. He's sort of a little bit more bottom heavy. Of course, that's also like it's trying to get a little bit of the perspective shot, but doesn't always work.
Oh yeah, this Godzilla has a dump truck ass.
Yes, he's very very green.
Yes.
Like
He's a Kelly green.
which is part of the reason why everybody thinks Godzilla is green and not charcoal gray like in everything else.
Right. Well, I guess those movies are black and white. Or else, that first one's black and white.
The first two.
And the first two. And,
Yeah.
and then he's green in the cartoon, so yeah, Godzilla's green, I guess.
And toys were
Fair
always
enough.
green.
I think he was also green in the comics.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think maybe more of a forest green than this Kelly green. Anyway, so the episode in question we are watching is The Beast of Storm Island.
Yes, we decided to jump straight to season 2, because
Yes,
season 2, again, I love me some recently recovered, lost media, at least lost as far as the copyright holders not bothering to make it available in any fashion, because this was never released on DVD. There are some episodes from the Cartoon Network airing that have just been put out into the world on like Daily Motion. But they are making it available on YouTube now.
Yes, on the official Toho Godzilla channel.
Yes, which I just found
Not
out
just-
existed.
Yeah, this is the fourth.
Not just ripped off somebody's VHS.
I wonder if they'll put the 90s show on there too.
maybe.
Eventually maybe. I mean, if they're doing the same kind of thing like the Ultraman channel is, they'll be slowly putting stuff up and then taking it down after a few weeks, which is kind of annoying.
Didn't we determine that just like Pluto has the 90s Godzilla cartoon?
I know that it's available on CTV in Canada, on their streaming service.
Okay.
So anyway, this is the 4th episode of season 2. The 17th episode overall aired October 6th, 1979, and we open off the coast of Canada.
Yes.
Yay!
I guess the question is, what coast of Canada? Because we've got two
That is a very good question.
and we've technically got 3, but they don't appear to be in the Arctic. I would guess it's the Pacific coast, just because that's usually where Godzilla is.
That would kind of make more sense. But then where?
They also mentioned the Canadian
I had
Coast Guard.
kind of assumed that it was the Atlantic coast just because of my own personal biases of always having lived on the Atlantic coast, if not in the Midwest. I guess it probably is the Pacific coast. Also, I'm gonna blame rescue bots, because now I'm used to just, like,
Thinking about the
islands
main
being
area.
in Maine.
Yeah, it's just off Prince Edward Island.
Yeah. Clearly.
So, they're trying to get through the storm, but, there's one chance at land, the nearby Storm Island.
That doesn't sound like a good idea. It's not a good name.
So this is a very Johnny Quest type sequence where they navigate this boat through the storm. They get to the shore, and there are a bunch of abandoned ships all over the coast here.
I will say one thing that this has more in common with the Johnny Quest side of Hanna-Barbera than with the Scooby-Doo side of Hanna-Barbera is that these characters do not appear to be in a band.
No.
None of these human characters are in a band together.
And
we don't know what they do after hours.
And Godzooky on drums.
Oh, God.
Yes. Oh, now I want to listen to that Jabberjaw song again. So
and
good.
they do
so
they do solve mysteries, but it's generally in the course of being scientists. They're not like professional mystery solvers.
Yes. And the mystery is usually what giant monster is causing problems this week.
Yes. So they they get to shore, and there's this one ragged guy who he's trying to escape the island. He's desperate. He says he tells them to get out of there before Axor comes for you.
Axor?
Dun, dun, dun. Axor, that's a Pokemon.
And Axor...
Actually, Axu is a Pokemon, and actually this kaiju that we will be encountering this week does remind me a bit of a Pokemon named Haxorus, who is the evolved form of Axu, who is just a big dragony bipedal thing, though he's got the axes go from the top of his head to being on his cheeks as he evolves. So that does affect it a little bit, but I'll dig up a picture and post it.
So yeah, here comes, it's kind of like, it's like half cobra, half dinosaur. It's got very skinny legs.
Yeah, weird canted cobra beast thing.
Enormous, and like a weird nozzle on its head.
Fang mouth. Yeah, it's got a blowhole
its
up top.
Head thing is so weird. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's unsettling, yes.
And of course, not found off the coast of Canada, cobras.
No, well, it's not exactly a cobra, but although it does have fangs, it's snaky in some way. But it's named Axor. Wait, doesn't he transform into a motorcycle?
It's not like
well, he did before he was exposed to Nucleon. Right, Slithor,
an action
I don't know, Serpentus.
I do kind of feel like this series gives me some pretty serious Inhumanoids vibes. With all the giant monsters. Yeah, especially this episode.
So naturally, it is time to summon Godzilla. Especially after Axor starts shooting like lightning bolts out of its mouth.
Yeah, well, you got to do something, some monster thingy.
Yeah. Well, it turns out to have a bunch of powers.
Well, so does Godzilla.
I mean, does Godzilla have powers besides the atomic breath and generally being a Godzilla?
In this series, he also has laser eyes.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is true.
That's not normal.
What is it with lasers with everything? You get the cops shooting lasers, and you get the Dracula lasers.
So we have the first of our two monster fights, and the Godzilla Axor fight. This is probably about as good a kaiju fight as you can get on like American animation in the 70s. It's not bad.
Yeah, or animation in general in the 70s, because, well, plugging another thing, recently Ultraman came out with The Ultraman, which was an anime series from about the same time, like 76, 77 or something. The monsters in that look weirder and cheaper than this, but not by a lot.
Oh, okay.
And actually, Axor would fit right in with their weird gangly things. That doesn't look like a guy in a suit. It's just a monster.
So Axor is driven back, but not before zapping this guy with a mysterious ray from its eyes, which sort of makes him catatonic.
Another cobra-like thing. Well, cartoon cobra
yeah,
thing.
I guess, snakes, hypnotism, everybody saw that Jungle Book movie.
Yep.
Yes. That's how snakes work, right?
Yeah,
that's how cobras work.
They hypnotize you, they also sound like Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
Oh, bother.
These are well-known traits.
Yes.
Anyway, they run back on the boat.
Yeah, they get on the boat, they take this guy back on there.
He's gesticulating. Like, there are moments when the animation is really good and smooth. Like him just, waving his arms. Get the fuck off this island!
Go!
And at one point there, he also calls him Axor the All-Powerful.
Yes, which makes him sound like a Lovecraftian god or something.
Yes.
Again, very Inhumanoidsy.
So indeed...
Though sadly, Axor will not turn out to actually, be able to talk.
Yes.
Like a person. And by a person, I mean Chris Latta.
So yeah, we're headed back, away from Storm Island, but the guy wakes up in the middle of the night, zombie-like, arms stretched out in front of him like Frankenstein's monster.
He's a Zuvembi! No!
And they can say zombie in this. I guess I guess we could say zombie in kids' cartoons, because I guess at this point it's less like rotting zombie and more like voodoo zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. It doesn't inherently imply a corpse.
No.
It just means like a hypnotized person.
You're hypnotized, but in enough faculties to tie up Brock and like turn the boat around.
I personally like, what was Brock doing that, like, they show the guy coming into the bridge of the ship, I guess, whatever part of the ship the wheel is in, that Brock is at the wheel. And then they just, like, the next thing you see, the zombie guy is at the wheel and Brock is, like, tied up. And I was like, they could not make it convincing that he could actually overtake this guy and tie him up when he's in this, like, form. Like,
yeah,
because
he's
up,
all
buddy.
zombie and Brock is a nerd, but he's a buff nerd.
Yes.
Presumably he was just falling asleep because he was on night shift of steering, I guess.
Maybe. But yeah, it was, he should definitely be ashamed that he got knocked out and tied up. Well, not knocked out, but overwhelmed and tied up by this zombie guy.
Yeah, so he gets knocked out. Meanwhile, Pete and Godzooky have been out in the storm, so they have laryngitis.
And head colds.
Yes. So, unfortunately, we have chosen the episode that is, I assume most of them are not this, Pete-centric.
I don't know.
I don't remember well enough, but it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon from the 70s. So.
That's true. I mean, I guess there is something about, Godzilla and most kaiju that attracts young boys in short pants.
Yes. Excessively, unreasonably short pants.
Someone's got to be the Kenny.
Okay. Put on pants.
So yeah, this ship ends up run aground, unfortunately. And so
back on Storm Island.
Yep. So they're going to examine. They're going to explore Storm Island. The adults are, while Pete and Godzooky stay behind and play some frisbee.
Yes, because they're sick and they don't need to be out having adventures.
So pretty soon they find this enormous stone temple that is being built by a number of people who have all been enslaved by Axor.
Okay, I have to ask you about the Canadian history of ziggurat building.
None.
Yes, I actually put in my notes, oh yes, one of those well-known Canadian ziggurats.
Yes. It's very clearly like a Mesopotamian style ziggurat. Like it's not a normal pyramid.
It's definitely not a thing that you expect to see on some random Canadian coastal island.
I mean, I guess the thing is they built it. They've just built it, I guess? Or
rebuilt it? It's hard to tell. Well, since the giant god monster isn't talking,
no.
He's just hypnotizing people to do his bidding.
It's also not entirely clear why he wants a giant temple.
I mean, why not?
A, maybe just to worship him. B, there's gas leaking out inside the temple. Maybe he's trying to keep it contained.
Oh, of course, it turns out to be his downfall.
Well,
yes.
Ultimately.
I want a temple. I want people to build me a temple. I feel like this is a perfectly relatable, understandable motivation.
Yeah.
To make people build you a temple.
So anyway, they're pretty quickly captured by the slaves of Axor, who promptly stomp on the Godzilla signal.
Which, apparently, according to the wiki, because of course there's a wiki for this, it's the first and only time it's destroyed, and my voice is dead. The hell?
You shouldn't have been out in that storm. Now you'll never be able to summon Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm Godzooky now.
So, they don't really, and the slaves don't really know much either. They're just saying, no, we gotta build this temple, for the glory of Axor.
It's what the boss wants.
Yep, and so they take them, and the three adults have now been brainwashed by Axor as well, with his mind control ray.
Yeah, and these zombie extras are very 70s looking with bell bottoms, and one of them looks like Chuck Norris.
Yes. So they are overseen, or they're spotted by Godzooky and Pete, who now have to save them. So of course they can't summon. Godzooky can vocally summon Godzilla, but he can't because he's got laryngitis.
Yes, this is around where we have, like, the whole bunch of humans, the whole cult of humans building a temple for this monster was the part where I was like, yeah, this is definitely some Inhumanoids bullshit.
Yes.
Like, we're just in this.
Yes.
Yeah, if there had been a portal down to underground and there were tree monsters, this would fit right in.
Now I really want to ask Flint Dilley if he watched this cartoon.
Oh, that's the thing. Like, whoever wrote this is questionable, because in the credits it's just a list of, like, 8 possible writers, one of which is David Wise.
Yes.
Ha!
So maybe this is a David Wise episode, who knows?
It could be.
Yeah. The world may never know.
He doesn't seem to have recycled the plot into, like, 5 Ninja Turtles episodes, so probably not.
It's a weird temple thing. I don't know. It might have shown up somewhere else. His was the only name I recognized.
I mean, I guess the thing is that there's not a ton of plot in this episode.
No, not really.
No, there's really not.
So they're caught. He tries to use the mind control whammy on them, but he can't, apparently because it is blocked by their head cold's question mark.
Yeah, or as he literally says, maybe my head cold blocked the ray somehow.
And that's all the explanation we're getting.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yes.
Which is what my first assumption was, it doesn't work on kids, but whatever, head cold fine.
Or on Godzooky's.
I mean, he's a kid.
Does he try it on Godzooky?
I think he does also try it on Godzooky.
Yeah, he's doing it to Godzooky too at the same time, and I mean, he is also has an undeveloped juvenile brain, so
yes.
I guess I could see that, but the head cult thing was just sort of like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know you're writing this on a deadline.
Yes, it's Tommy knockers on a budget, and they replace a plate in the head with a head cold.
I mean, it would kind of make sense if it was, like a pheromone thing. And the nasal passages were blocked, but also, you're not using the word pheromone on a Hanna-Barbera cartoon in the 70s.
Yeah, no. Well, because, like, he mind controls the one guy who was already a zombie, but everyone else he has to bring into his ziggurat filled with all the gas and the glowing color out of space.
Well, we know what the gas is, and he presumably doesn't want his slaves to get that.
No.
Yes.
Anyway, so
as we will learn.
Yeah, so they escape and they get back to the boat, but then also, Axor can create tidal waves.
Well, like, the disturbing air sac with a blowhole on his back is like a giant whoopee cushion that can create tornadoes.
Yes.
That thereby creates tidal waves.
I do not like his sack.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very weird orifice on the top of his head.
Yes, so they get blown back to shore, and that's when he tries to mind control them. It doesn't work. So they escape into the temple and end up hiding inside this giant, bizarre pit full of weird vapors.
Yeah, it's your basic Oracle of Delphi kind of thing.
Yes, and it turns out this is where Axor derives his powers from, as he inhales these vapors. And then, likewise, Godzooky and Pete absorb them. Pete briefly gets super strength, and Axor can actually breathe fire for once.
Godzooky can breathe fire.
Yes, Godzooky.
Another thing he never does in any other episode.
The first thing that Pete observes is that his head cold seems to be going away, at which point I was like, oh, so it's just menthol. This is the Vicks Vapo Rub pit. But no, it then also gives him, like, superpowers, which sadly Vicks Vapo Rub does not actually give him.
He just jumps straight up out of this pit. We don't actually know how deep it is, but it's like Superman flies out.
Yes.
Almost.
But
Godzooky's, his fire breath works for once, and he sort of can fight Axor back, which is surprising, considering he's like 1/10 the size of Axor, depending upon the shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's got at least a puncher's chance. And he doesn't quite do it, especially since the power boost from this is apparently extremely short-lived.
For them, yes.
Well, and I guess probably even for Axor, because remember, Axor did not exactly fight Godzilla for an extended period of time in the first segment.
No, but maybe that's also his unsettling sack. Maybe it can hold the gas.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It may also have, like, a respiratory function. Again, it would be nice if a little of this was explained in the show.
Evil snake god, it doesn't need a lot of explanation.
Soon we will get to a point where it would do to have less explanation, so...
Well, I suppose this is true.
At least as far as the sake of narrating everything that is occurring on screen.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, Pete is reduced to explaining what Godzooky is doing.
Just declaring what Godzooky and then later Godzilla are doing.
Even though we can definitely see what these things are. Like, the animation is not that complex. We know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us. Show, don't tell, or also show and tell. Only do one or the other. You don't need to do both.
Yes. So Godzooky no longer has laryngitis, and he is able to summon Godzilla. And here comes Godzilla.
Dun, dun, dun.
So it is time for a pretty cool Godzilla Axor fight. Godzilla totally smashes this temple, so now Axor sort of frantically tries to dig in there to get more of his vapors.
Yeah, that good idea to build a ziggurat over top of your vapor supply, dude, and now it's covered in rock.
Yes.
You fucked up.
So he tries to, like, use the mind control ray on Godzilla. It doesn't work the first time for some reason. I guess
it sort of stuns him, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. And then Godzilla breathes fire onto a mountain, which turns it into a glass mirror.
Yeah, what? Like, Godzilla knows, like, meld stone spells with his fire? What? How?
I mean, maybe it was a really sandy, maybe it's like just a big pile of sand.
Sandstone, maybe? I don't it's very weird and convenient, and it's very much like this rectangle polished mirror in the side of a mountain.
Oh yeah, it's...
Yeah, I was kinda like, rocks do not work that way. Glass does not work that way. But yeah,
it's
maybe
episode ending in 3 minutes. Joe Barbera is telling me to wrap it up.
Yeah, again, like I said, we're on a deadline, and we gotta get this episode finished.
So then Axor tries to get him again with the hypno ray. Godzilla steps out of the way, it hits the mirror, it reflects back on Axor, and
then weird shit happens.
It short circuits him.
Now
and
he is a slave to himself. No, that's not what happens.
And he ceases to exist?
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, I guess it has to, like, you know, it's not like you can send the monsters to jail at the end.
You can't kill them bloodily and have Godzilla rip them apart or something.
Right. So, I mean...
Oh man, that must have been the hardest part of this writing assignment, was coming up with a way that Godzilla could defeat the monsters without, like, running afoul of BS&P.
I assume a lot of them, like, I'm guessing there's a lot of falling into pits.
And volcanoes.
Probably.
Yes.
Very Disney. They meet a lot of Disney villain ends.
Yeah, but this guy just mind controls himself out of existence. It raises more questions about what the fuck he even is.
Yes.
He's an
Very
Inhumanoid.
weird.
I vote that he is an Inhumanoid.
It might as well be. I mean, his legs would have to be bigger if he was going to be a toy, but yeah.
He's some sort of
Maybe
lost...
they get costed out like Gargoyle's arms.
Yeah, he's some sort of lost hatchmate of gag oil.
Oh, I guess if he balanced on his tail like a kangaroo for the toy, maybe?
Or there was a snake guy, wasn't there? Sleeth or something?
Slithor.
That also didn't get made.
Right.
Slithor.
But I think he was built more like basically just decomposed as a snake. I think.
Just as a snake.
So yeah, Godzilla, and at the point that Axor becomes defeated, the music score becomes extremely funky.
Late 70s.
Also, all through, and again, like I said, all through the fight between them is just the kid, like, narrating what's going on, and it's super annoying by the time it's done. It's like, could you just shut up?
I mean, this is a real annoying kid sidekick.
Yeah.
He's really bad.
Yeah, so with Axor gone, all the slaves are freed, the Calico, we're not going to actually let all these, guys on the boat, because they haven't bathed in ages. They probably all smell bad. But we're going to call a ship to get you.
Yeah. Or maybe they are, well, no, the boats crashed on the island, so there probably were other sailors, not natives of the island.
Right.
Well, Canadian natives to the island, or however it works.
Yes.
Out in British Columbia.
First Nations peoples. I mean, presumably they didn't live there because of the giant snake monster. They're no, you can go there if you want, white guys, but we're going to stay away with the giant hypnotic snake monster.
They were like, hey, why don't you guys go over to that island over there? It's called Really Great Fishing Island.
Oh, yeah. It's a hot chick island.
Yeah, yes.
It's full of babes. You'll love it.
It's great. I'm all for indigenous people specifically telling the settlers to go to dangerous places.
And so then, cut to, but everybody's very impressed with how Godzooky handled himself. Godzooky, you were the greatest, which I assume is a specific Muhammad Ali reference, because he's sort of shadow boxing.
Yeah.
But then the sun comes out, and he's also afraid of his shadow.
Yes, because Godzooky.
Which would have been fine, but then also they have to have Pete explain that gag.
Yeah, that kid had better have gotten paid a lot, because he is carrying this entire thing, even when he doesn't need to be.
Oh God!
Was he actually voiced by a child actor?
Let me see here. He doesn't have his own Wikipedia page, whoever this actor is, but
so probably.
It is a guy, at least, and not an adult woman.
Yeah.
Al Eisenman. I think assuming this is the same guy. He was born in 1965, so he would have been like a young teenager, I think. If this is the same
he would have been
guy.
like 13, yeah. I guess you have to scroll all the way to the bottom of those credits.
At least according to IMDb, it is the same guy. He was also on Another Day, and then a bunch of guest appearances on like Bosom Buddies.
After School Specials. He was on some
NBC
After
School Specials. He's in an episode of Arrested Development, and he's now become like a prop guy.
Oh,
like he's a property master.
Cool.
Worked on Criminal Minds, Arrested Development, Always Sunny, Monk, Roswell. So he's still in the industry. So good for you, annoying Godzilla child.
Yes.
You done good.
Yeah. Solid career behind the scenes.
Oh, and his father was Albert Abel, who was a kids TV show host.
Yeah, that'll get you jobs.
He was Cadet Don, which I assume that's kind of like a captain. I mean, this is way before any of our times. Yeah, he was a kind of like a Bozo the Clown Captain Video kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Way for us. Well, this cartoon is at the beginning of Two of Us.
Yes. So yeah, so that was sort of an interesting little tidbit there. So this scene is extremely goofy, or this show is extremely goofy, but it has a certain charm. But it helps that I was not of an age when all cartoons were like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very much in the basic Hanna-Barbera cartoon formula, but it wasn't as bad as I was afraid it was going to be going back to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, like I said, more in the Johnny Quest vein than in the Jabberjaw vein.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. Definitely an interesting historical artifact if you're into the Godzillas. Mm-hmm. And hey, you can watch it on the official Godzilla YouTube channel now. I am such a big fan of companies doing that.
Yes.
Please. You need to shovel some stuff onto Peacock. Yes, dig out the second previously lost season of Exo Squad. That's great.
That's right. Dig through those archives, people.
So much content. Yeah, just find that stuff that you didn't bother to put out on DVD. And just, because that's the one good thing about streaming, is that while, stuff can just disappear whenever, there's very, very little commitment to actually making that stuff available. All you have to do is find somebody to maybe clean it up a little and upload it, and there you go. Now it's there.
Slap it up on YouTube and you got some content.
Yes.
And I guess the nice thing about Hanna-Barbera is that it seems that, they were, their stuff was rerun forever. I mean, as we saw with Godzilla here. So I don't think there's a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff that's lost. They just got it all in their archives.
Yeah, somewhere.
Well, I guess that's why Cartoon Network was able to, and that's why they became a going concern, because...
Yeah, that was what Cartoon Network was kind of their founding. That was what they were, their foundation was that they were Turner, and they had all of the Hanna-Barbera back catalog. So in addition to the other odds and ends they could get a hold of, they just had all this stuff that they could just... It was funny because some of the stuff I would see on the Saturday afternoon, like action stuff, was cartoons that had shown up on Scooby-Doo movies episodes, but I had never actually seen them in anything else. Like Speed Buggy.
For me, it's I know most of the stuff from Harvey Birdman.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies episodes when I was a kid in the 80s, and honestly, I know 95% of what I know about 60s and 70s celebrities and culture. I know, Phyllis Diller or Sonny and Cher. Don Knotts.
Mama Cass.
Yes, Mama Cass. I would absolutely have no reason to know who Mama Cass was if I hadn't been watching those.
I think my mom had a record of her.
Well, the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah, they were in a musical group that was not relevant to me in the 80s, listening to 80s pop music. So yeah, that was, I guess Cartoon Network was kind of the equivalent of what streaming is today, where they just, needed to fill a bunch of space and they just shoveled what they had access to into their time slots, and now they just show Teen Titans Go 24/7. Which I guess is also kind of like streaming, but not on purpose.
I guess that's also that's what Boomerang is for? Is Boomerang still around?
Oh, is it?
I think so. Last I heard, Boomerang had just started showing Powerpuff Girls in Dexter's Lab.
Oh god, we're all so old.
I know. Yeah. We're just incredibly old. Just super old. Like Ed, and Eddie.
Oh god.
Oh, they're still running that? Good.
I don't know. I know that's on Toonami Aftermath.
Alright, so I believe that about does it for this month's Patreon special. We will be back next month talking about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, it is time. Yes. It is time to... Oh man, that's going to be a big discussion. We are going to talk...
Oh yes.
That might be one of the... I'm going to have to pencil it into my schedule as a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, that feels like that could be our longest episode since Transformers the movie.
We are going to have some thoughts and feelings about that.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Darkman. I'm going to talk about Rintrah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Rintrah.
I'm going to talk about...
I wish he wasn't Build-A-Figure.
I'm going to talk about Wanda, and I'm going to talk about how sometimes you just get sick of trying to be the good guy, and you just become a villain because screw everything, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, spoiler, see the movie.
Yes.
Sorry. I feel like at this point you've probably picked up on that by osmosis.
Yeah, it's been a month. It's I haven't seen any more trailers, but they probably stuck it in the trailer by now.
There's certain things that get hinted at enough that you're like, oh, that must be the thing that happens. So, I'm ready for the discourse. I'm ready for the Wanda discourse. I'm here for it. Also, cameos.
Yeah. Not as many as I would have liked, but some really good ones.
Yeah,
I didn't want it to be like cameo palooza, really.
I had to reassure one of my coworkers who's not like crazy like us, that it wasn't just going to be a cavalcade of characters he doesn't recognize.
Yeah.
Because he had just read enough of the hype to be like, am I even going to enjoy this if I don't know who, like, the people who played the Fantastic Four and the Roger Corman... I mean, he didn't say that, but that was the vibe I was getting, that he was concerned that it was just going to be entirely super deep in jokey references, and so I had to reassure him that it was not.
No, for Sam Raimi, surprisingly, it wasn't.
Yeah. All right. So until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Jen.
And I'm not Godzooky.
Godzooky. I love Godzooky.